Hi everyone, good morning all. So uh, we are going to start a e-commerce microservices architecture, okay, from today onwards. So in the last session, completely how the architecture will look like, we discussed in the last session. If you are not at join yesterday session, please go ahead and watch complete this video, guys. This is called a day one session. Okay, so just you can visit our channel. So if you see microservices 0 to hero course, it's a real-time microservice architecture. This is for the day one session here, guys. Okay, please complete if you are not yet completed this video. Okay, now today I'm continuing for the day two. So again I'm not repeating again course highlight, key outcomes. Already we discussed in the last session. I don't want to waste your time as well, guys. But anytime any questions, just note down this number. Just you can ask them in WhatsApp. They will help you. Okay, for any non-technical questions. Okay. Now coming to uh, regarding to the microservices. So yesterday we given highlights of monolithic and microservices, why we need all the things. But let me recap one more time with pure information completely. What is how monolithic will architecture will look like, how we need to migrate to microservices. I'm going to discuss in today's session here, guys. Okay. Now let me start our session then. Okay. Now, regarding the first, we need to understand in microservices means first we need to understand about the monolithic architecture here. What are the problems we have in monolithic architecture? Why we are moving to the microservices architecture? We are going to discuss here. Okay. Now have a look. So in the monolithic architecture, basically we are maintaining single code base. Means if you take we'll take example as a Flipkart or Amazon. If you take as a Flipkart, okay, in Flipkart, what are the modules we have, like a search module, cart module, order module, shipment module. All the modules we will keep in a single git repository. All the functionalities are available under single git repo. That is the meaning of single code base. Okay, integrated modules also. So the application is divided into multiple modules, each responsible for a specific functionality. Search functionality, cart functionality, order functionality. Here module is nothing but one kind of requirement here. It is not like a separate project, everything linked to single base system here. Those applications we can call as a, okay, monolithic architecture here. Why? Because all the components are integrated, it completely tightly coupled with the same code base. It's not like a different code base. Even payment integration, notification, those modules also available under the same code repository here. Even if you want to deploy the application, it's a single unit, single jar file, single war file, you will get it here. So the whole application you need to deploy at single shot here. Just I'm giving high level overview about monolithic and microservice. Then we will jump into our development here, guys. Okay. Already you are well aware about monolithic and microservice, what it is exactly. But still, I need to recap what happened here to you. Okay. Now, if you take a monolithic application, we have a UI. The UI may developed using Angular or React or anything, any framework. Okay, and we have a business logic. This business logic represents the complete modules are available here. In this business modules, like a search functionality, like a search controller, order controller, cart controller, payment controller, all the controllers are available under this business logic. Then we are accessing a DAO layer, single database. Either you can use Oracle or MySQL or NoSQL. So only single database we can use when you are going ahead with the monolithic architecture here. Okay, so when we package in monolithic architecture, we will get as a war file here, guys. Web archive, web application archive. It contain your application code. Okay, when we package a Java based application, we will get a war file. Along that, all the configurations are available. This war file in monolithic style we will call as a fat war here. Why? Because why fat war represents means it include not only your business functionalities, it include dependencies as well. Why? Because it is a self-contained and a large deployment file. When your application grows, your war file size will be increasing. Running the application also, it will take lot of time. So that's why we can call as a fat war, we can call. Indirectly, that's meaning war file is nothing but fatware, where it include not only your source code, it includes as well like basically dependencies and libraries also will be available. So to avoid these kind of problems, they are transition to our microservices architecture. Why? Because in microservices we have kind of a smaller services, independent microservices here. Why? Because it mainly focus on a specific functionality. It mainly focus on a specific functionality so that it is easier to update as well when you have any issues with specific service. Okay, just see what kind of advantages we have using monolithic architecture and what kind of drawbacks we have, and then we'll jump into microservices here. Okay, now now, for coming to monolithic, easy to develop here. Why? Because at the starting of the project, your architecture is very simple and easily you can implement as well. Okay, and a straightforward testing. Why? Because using Selenium for UI testing, using that framework, they will be test whole application. They will launch the application as well. Okay, and a simplified deployment, you no need to take much overhead. Just you have a war file, just you need to deploy into the server, that's it, done, your job is completed, nothing else, nothing overhead as well. Why? Because everything is under the same fat war only here. Okay, and scalable, if you want to scale the application, you need to create more number of clusters where via load balancer you can manage the traffic as well. This is kind of a advantages, but we have a disadvantages also we have, guys. We have a disadvantages also we have. So what kind of disadvantages means, like a reliability issues, means if if there is some issue in some application, in some module, suppose there is an issue in there is a cart module, then whole application will fail. Why? Because overall application will be gone. So that is one of the drawback in monolithic why? Because if issue in the cart module, what happened for the search is good, right? Searching is working, but due to cart, whole application will be fail. This is one kind of a reliability issues we will be get. Not only this one, we have other things like a slower release cycle. Why? Because nowadays if you see the deployments, every month some release will be happen, every month some features will be deploying. But whereas in monolithic, it's not like every month, it can be every 6 months or every 1 year kind of a releases are possible. It's not like a that much simple deploying your application in the production. Okay, that's kind of a release cycle will be very slow in the monolithic here. Like maybe a client, hey, I need this feature immediately, but that is not possible. Implementation is one of the challenge. Again, testing is another challenge, and deploying is another challenge. Lot of challenges we have in monolithic architectural style. Now imagine now you are using some Java technology, you want to change to some Node.js. That is very difficult. Why? Because we are tightly integrated with a lot of modules here. In tight integration, if you change a technology, lot of things we need to take in care. It's that much very complex in this code base here. Challenging maintenance, if you see in the old in our organizations, old applications that developed in monolithic with EJB technologies, guys, not in the Spring also. EJB technology. Why? Because when continuously growing old applications like a Dosha Bank or bank applications, all it's not in microservices, guys. Still, it is a monolithic where they are doing a migration. still available in a production. It is a monolithic only, slowly migrating to microservices style. Why? Because when application grows, complexity also will be increasing. It's very hard to maintain as well. Why? Because when they developed the application, maybe a five developers are developed at the time of starting, maybe at 2000 2002. Now it is 2024, but those developers are not available till here, right? A new people will be joining. When new people joining, what will happen? Understanding the project is very difficult here. If a small change also, if he want to change, it's gone. We don't know. For the small fix, it may take 10 days also here for the monolithic based applications here. That's why it's a lot of challenges. We need to think in monolithic style here. For small update or a small feature also, entire application we need to rebuild and redeploy. A downtime will be there, lot of effort will be involved here. If 10 people are working monolithic in microservices, 10 people are not required at all. It's kind of a independent services as well. Anyway, we will be discussed soon. So, based on these concerns, if you take a migration use case like e-commerce application, if you take a e-commerce application, imagine, just observe this diagram. If you see here, this is a client application. You can access your application via mobile phone or the browser anywhere. We are using relational database here. Now, in this relational database, what we are doing, you have modules here. Modules means as a project, but it is part of the same project, kind of a multi-module system, multi-module Maven multi-module, where all the thing taken care by the parent module here, like APIs and web apps. Now, if you see here in module C, identity module means user module, catalog module, invoice module, order module, sales module, marketing module, okay, user service, product service, order service, okay, favorite. Lot of modules may available in the monolithic style. For this, one CI/CD pipeline is one CI/CD pipeline only, one Jenkins pipeline. Just you need to click build, deploy, you will get a war file. That's it, done. This is the monolithic. Just now we see the challenges we have, right? Now, how you can avoid these challenges now? To avoid these challenges, okay, now just have a look here. First we'll try to understand here what kind of problems. As part of the initial days, as I said, as part of the initial days, easy to build, deploy and test and scale the application at the starting of the project. But imagine your application is success in the market. Now billions of users are accessing your application. Then what kind of challenges we will face? What kind of challenges we will face at that time? Imagine that one, guys. What kind of challenges we will face this issue? The first challenge becomes a kind of a no single person can understand. When the application grows, days are increasing, then a new developers are joining, old developers are just they're leaving their jobs and they went to another project. Then new developers may not understand the complete project. No one will provide complete KT. Even if you join any organization, definitely no one will teach you from the scratch. They will give just a high level knowledge. Okay, this module is working this one, this module is working this one, just you go ahead and do, and like that they will ask you a lot of questions here. That is one of the challenge here. Now if a new developer is introduced in their year, who are working from starting of the project, definitely he has a knowledge. If you change a small change, he knows very well, okay, if you change here it will affect this module, it will affect this module, like that say, he will understand very clearly. Now, this is one of the problem here. Okay, fear making changes. Each changes will be very costly side effects here. Okay, the next here, the new features and fixes become tricky, time consuming, and expensive to implement. Sometimes in the monolithic style, if any bug is assigned to you, finding the root cause only, it will take 3 to 4 days of time. It may take 1 week also finding the root cause. Again, if you are finding the root cause means solution becomes easy. Where you need to fix, where it is happening. It may take 10 days also, guys. It's not like a dead easy. Okay, in the monolithic style. Still some few employees still working on monolithic style for the old companies in the sense bigger companies only, old applications like that. Okay, releases, as I said, is kind of a entire application need to deploy. One component is unstable, means like one module is not working properly, then the whole application will be gone. And the new technologies also, we don't have that option here to do this activity here. This is kind of a problems when you are use case design for e-commerce application. When we have these kind of problems, we have if you keep your application in the monolithic style. Now once you start about microservices, what are the benefits we have? As everyone knows, microservice, what exactly, can anyone tell me, guys, what is a microservice?
It's a part of the combination of the services we are calling microservices. Each and every service making as a group.
Okay, others, any inputs, what is a microservice?
Combination of small modules for like,
Okay, is there a microservice? Let me give some options. It is a technology, it is a framework, or it is an API, it is a kind of something. Anyone?
It's a framework.
Okay, others?
It is an architecture.
Okay, it's an architecture. Any other answers? Okay. See, guys, microservice is not a technology, not a framework, not a API. It is kind of a architectural design pattern. Okay, this pattern is not only specific to Java. This pattern is common for everywhere here. Why? Because it is came to the market to avoid the problems of monolithic architecture here. Why? Because it kind of a universal design pattern, guys. Anyone can follow this pattern. Okay, lot of Java developers are saying it is a technology, it is a framework, it is, don't say in interview room, this kind of thing. This is one kind of pattern. That's it. Is not completely new or something new, guys. Just whatever you are developing, the way of developing your components in little bit different. That's it. Each module, I can say each project here, that each project nothing but a microservice. That's it, nothing else here. What are the functionalities you are developing in a single project? Those functionalities we will be divided into a smaller pieces. That is about the microservices here, guys. Okay, nothing new regarding microservices here. Okay, now if you see here, this we basically will talk about how you can design your project architecture. They will, the main aim is, it's kind of a point called divide and conquer. Divide and conquer principle here. As much as you need to divide your application, so your maintenance is easy for you. Maintenance is easy for you if you do a divide and conquer here. Then you will get to know where is the problem happen in the later on time here, if any issues are happen. So that's why it is a deployment is also here. So even we need to inform to the developer saying that, hey, if you have 5 requirements, really these 5 requirements are sortable in a single application? First we need to think, okay, it's are independent, there is no relation between. Then you need to divide into different microservices here. If it is the combination of something related to each other, two functionalities, remaining three are independent, yes, those two functionalities develop in a single project, and remaining three functionalities can develop as a different microservices here. When even team continues, application increasing, more number of users, your services may increase. That's it. It won't happen anything. But what kind of disadvantage is in microservices means? Can anyone tell me what is the disadvantage of microservice?
We cannot make legacy old applications to microservices application. That is the one of the major disadvantage.
That is possible for your question. Why? Because old applications we can slowly migrate, not completely immediately, but it will take lot of time. Just, but we can make it. That is called migration, monolithic to microservices. That is possible. Once you divided your application into microservices, what is the disadvantage? Compared to advantage, disadvantage is nothing. Why? Because we have a more benefits. I know everyone can explain more benefits. What kind of cons? Means complexity and infrastructure overhead. Lot of infrastructure is required for microservices here. Only these two are the main disadvantages of microservice. But compared to disadvantages, lot of benefits we have. So that's why people, okay, they are ready to pay for your infrastructure. No issue at all. That's when the cloud now they are dividing, right? They ready to provide the funds to you. Just you go ahead and develop the microservices architectural style. That is the main benefit here. Yes, each module has their own database, correct? True. Now, see here. If you take same e-commerce application, okay. Now, previously you observed here, right?
Sir,
Now,
we need the disadvantage, sir. Is not there. Please go to previous slide.
no, here it's not mentioned. It's a complexity and infrastructure overhead. Just dividing your application into microservice kind of a complex. It's not like a easy, but we can do. But it will around it will trigger a lot of phases involved here to do that activity. Okay. Yeah. If you see here, previously you saw monolithic style. The same application, if you want to divide into microservice use case, now I can say in the real time, no one will follow 100% microservice architecture. Remember this point. No one will follow. At least somewhere 100% means it's kind of a difficult, definitely. Who are using monolithic to microservice, who are especially going for them, I'm saying here. Brand new projects, yes, they can go ahead, but up to some level. Means what does it mean? If it is a pure 100% microservice architecture, means if you have a 20 projects, 20 microservices you have. 20 microservices means 20 databases you should have. That is a pure 100% microservice. But it's really use case means it's really required, then we need to divide 20 databases, but not required at all. Now if you see here, now if you are a client application or any website, you are sending a request to a gateway. When you divided your application into microservice style, now we have a why? Because in monolithic it will be run on a single port number your application will be running, so easily you can access. But the same application, if you divide into microservice architectural style, every application will be run on a different port number. Why? Because here domain is different, here domain is different. If you dividing now 1 2 3 4 5 6 microservices, these 6 are different domain URLs. It will be run on a same port number, doesn't matter, but 6 domain URLs. If as a client want to use all the services, we will not give 6 domain URLs to them. To avoid that in microservice, now to avoid those problems, we introduced in the mediator called API gateway. Gateway is a responsibility to take your request, and the request will forward to appropriate microservice. That is about the gateway layer. And here, once it is converted to microservices, it's become a jar file. No more war file here. That is the already, that is a Spring Boot benefits embedded servers. Already you are well aware about that one. So if it is a jar, easily I can convert into a Docker container. I can run my application into containers here. Docker container like a orchestration engine using Kubernetes, we can deploy as well. Here, when you have identity microservice, catalog microservice, here they are using relational database system. Here, order and invoice, they are using Mongo database. For sales and marketing, they are using Redis Cache. And they can mediator, they can use some kind of a event bus, is kind of a messaging system. If they want to send some data from identity microservice, No, there are two ways of communication. Either you can send publish data to event bus, and then somewhere some another database invoice, they can capture the information from the event bus as well. Okay, here they are using multiple databases. In some organizations, they may use these four, they want to use as a single database only. Single database may use. Here they may use as a different database, here they may use a different database. In the organizations, this is the pattern will be happen. If multiple teams are working, multiple microservice, everyone can connect it to same database, but a different type of tables they have. They can make a relationship and everything will be there. Basically, it is kind of a infrastructure overhead, guys. I mean to say different database, it's kind of a infrastructure overhead. It has their own benefits also there, and also disadvantages also there. Now imagine you are using e-commerce application. Imagine every microservice you are using own database. Then how you will handle like a transaction management is the problem. That's why they are following saga design pattern. That is one of the challenging task. Suppose when you are dividing, here you is using relational database, here you is using some kind of a SQL, here you are using a Oracle. Suppose six microservice, six databases. How you will manage the relationships? One to many, many to one, that is not at all possible. Internally you can take in care, but it's quite challenging. Mappings also will be difficult. Like in this way, lot of pros and cons will be there. Based on their requirement, whatever they want, they will be divide the application. In our architectural style, what we are doing is, now let me go ahead. In our style, what they are doing, we are using in the local environment, we'll use the MySQL setup, but we will create each database. Each database means we will create a database schema. User service has a user MS, order has a order MS, payment has a payment. It's like independent. There is no relation between these databases. But the software is same, but different databases we can create. But in the real time, they will create a one separate instance, connecting user microservice to this DB. Username, password, URL is different. Here username, password, URL is different. Everywhere it completely different. But in our use case, URL, username is same, uh, database is different. That way we are dividing in the local. Once we completely deploy into Kubernetes, what we are doing, it is a separate container. It is a separate it's a separate instance. In the real time, how it will be look like, it's kind of a real time instance. Real time, they will not use as a pod for database. They will create as a real database. They will create, like if you take AWS, there is a RDL, right? RDS system, relational data. They will create their own database. Like if they have some Mongo, like Cosmos DB, Cosmos, they will create that. They need to spend infrastructure overhead, right? So to get to familiarize with the microservice architecture, what we are doing in Kubernetes, a concept we introduced called PVC, persistent volume claim. Using, see in the, here if you see here in the bottom, persistent volume claim. Using this concept, I can deploy my application independently here. That way we design our architecture here. As yes, I am trying to do dividing these, instead of using MySQL instance, we'll try to use a Postgres. If let me try myself first, if it is working good, yeah, definitely I can take that session as well. No worries on that one, guys. Okay, that is how your microservice architecture style will be happen here. Now, are you guys clear? Main,
Sir, one question.
yeah.
Now recently people have started using Docker and Kubernetes. Before
Mhm.
Docker, how they are maintaining all the services?
Not required. Previously single project, right? Single war file. Then there is
Okay,
no concept of containers, Kubernetes, no.
so when microservices came, that time only this Docker we are using, right?
Exactly, correct. Then only it came to the picture in the market. Docker and Kubernetes is the popular when microservices is introduced here. Previously, we don't have like a Docker and Kubernetes. Yes, we have, but single war file, right? Why to unnecessary take as a Kubernetes infrastructure, one Docker container not required? Am I correct?
Okay. So
When
based on the Docker and Kubernetes working, man.
correct, that is called orchestration. More number of containers, more number of instances.
Okay. Got it.
That is the benefit.
What is the orchestration?
Orchestration is nothing but managing your Docker containers. As of now, if you are alone, use the Docker in your local system. If container is stopped, who will again restart your container? Suppose you ran a Docker container in your local system,
Locally,
something
I
went
will
wrong.
restart.
You
Locally,
are a
I
responsible, right?
yes.
Now you are not responsible. Kubernetes is responsible. If something went wrong, it is responsibility to start another container. That is
Okay.
called orchestration.
Okay. So we also use 𝐓𝐸 apps in our project, so that 𝐓𝐸 apps is Kubernetes that is responsible for restarting
Self-healing capability
self.
supporting by orchestration.
Okay.
Like in the market, we have like a OpenShift, Kubernetes. Previously, we have a Docker Swarm, guys. Docker Swarm people will use before Kubernetes. Once Kubernetes popular, Docker Swarm nowhere is using. That is for simpler applications. For complex based applications, they will use the Kubernetes. Clear?
Sir, one more question.
Yes.
Now, each and every application, they are maintaining JMS services like Docker, RabbitMQ, or some other thing.
Yes. Not
So,
each microservice. It's kind of a they can create as a common centralized Kafka system. They will create a topics inside here. They will create maybe identity one topic, catalog one topic, order as one topic. Now imagine order microservice requires some data from identity. He will consume the data from the messaging system.
so architecture-wise, each and every service maintaining one record in the Kafka, right?
Yes, that Kafka record means it's kind of a message. It's kind of that message is not a permanent. It's kind of anytime can be a retention period will be there in the event bus. When people are completely depending on the Kafka, it is also a lot of disadvantages and advantages. Both we have based on the requirement. I mean to say, it doesn't mean
So,
we need to use event bus every time.
yeah, my question is, we are maintaining the database, each and record we are maintaining, but
Mm.
again, why we are maintaining Kafka there?
Okay. Now tell me, when you are making an order, suppose you are invoice microservice, right? To
Okay.
whom you are generating invoice? For which order you are generating? For which user you are generating? You know
Yeah,
that information, right?
yes.
The user information is available in which database?
User
SQL
database.
database. But you
User
are generating invoice for that. You know user ID, but you know complete user information or not? But how
Yeah,
to communicate to this microservice? There are multiple ways using REST template, using
yeah.
Fiend client, using event bus. Based on their requirement, they will be used. We are using the Fiend client. In the organization, they may use the REST template as well. Now, few companies may use the event bus as
They are communicating with each other.
well.
Okay. So
Exactly.
these two information we are recording, these two communication information we are recording in the JMS, is right?
Yes,
Okay.
communication, both. But there is a chance while communicating, if something went wrong on the event bus, then your communication gone or not. Yes, here we need to take more number of replicas to avoid those activities. That is completely different. You got my
Okay.
point?
Okay.
If
Got it.
you use a
Anything?
REST template, it may take long time. See, everything has a own benefits and disadvantages are there. It doesn't mean we need to stick only to event bus means no. Microservice, there is no specification. However they want, they can develop the applications. But it's kind of an architectural style. Which architecture they want, they will follow.
ST template calling the URL, freezing client also the same thing. Event bus, I'm not here that one first time
with the Eureka server, via Eureka server, without hard coding your URL, we will communicate with your application. That is about microservice based concept. Fiend client communication.
Yeah, Eureka bus.
Yes. Anyway, we will be discuss about those things, Eureka server, Eureka client. So no worries on that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. This is how your architecture. Are we good till now, guys? Any queries?
Yes, sir.
Shall we start a small project based setup? Shall we start at least to the head startup? So that again from Monday onwards, we will continue for the development here, guys. Okay. So in the meanwhile, what you guys need to do, guys, first in your local system, Docker should be installed. From now onwards, you need to do this activity, guys, in your local system here, guys. Okay. Again, don't ask how to install the Docker everything. Just go ahead in the Google, just install by using you have a Docker desktop. Almost if you're already done with Spring Boot and Rest APMs, family, you are definitely familiar with the Docker as well, at least installation side, guys. Okay. Now just you need to download the Docker desktop in your local system. Okay, just you can click on this download the Docker desktop for Mac or whichever operating system you are using, Windows. Once your Docker is installation is successful, you need to enable Kubernetes here only directly, guys. Just see, I will show you. Running Kubernetes on the Docker, okay, it will take almost, I mean to say, half an hour it will take for you for the first time, guys. Today only please set up in your local system. Okay, now I will show you where you need to run your Docker Kubernetes as well. Now see, when you successfully run Docker in your local system, this is the dashboard where you can look like, where you can see images, you can able to see here Docker containers, you can able to see. Okay, and if you see there is an option called settings, click on this option, and left hand side you have an option called Kubernetes. Okay, now see here, just you click this option and start, apply and restart. It will take half an hour or it may take 45 minutes as well for the first time, guys. Later on time, you can disable and you can enable within fraction of like 1 minute or 2 minutes, you can do that activity. Clear? Any questions? There is no separate, nothing is required. This is sufficient. Are we good? See, now enable Kubernetes here. That means application is started. Now, if you want to disable, if your system becomes slow, if you feel, now click on this option, again apply and restart. Then it will be stop all the containers. Now, whenever if you click again, it will start all the containers here. This is just a software setup. Anyway, to went for Kubernetes, it will take a lot of time anyway for deployment manifest after completing all our microservices discussion. Clear for software setup? Any questions? If you start now, for you it may take 2 to 3 days of time. Everyone should install in your local system. I know everyone will not install immediately, but I'm giving on the day one only installation setup for you guys. Clear or any questions?
For Kubernetes, we have installed it automatically will come. Can you go back
Yes.
once? Can you go back once?
Now if you click on come by, if you click on the cancel, this is the page. There is an option called settings option. See, choose this option. Left hand side Kubernetes. Just this option you should be enabled. That's it. And this is one software. And you need to install MySQL in your local system. Already you are aware MySQL. How many need to install MySQL in your local system?
Yeah, already.
Everyone who are not yet available MySQL, can I know, guys?
8.0 version. Same.
Any version is fine. I am using 7 only. I can say. Who are not yet installed? I think Manik. Yeah, please install the MySQL in your local system. If you see MySQL download, just you can search with MySQL. Manik, click on MySQL installer. Any version, latest version, whatever you have, just you can see. Latest version is 8.0.40. Just you have to choose this one, download. Okay, a default username is root, password you can keep whatever you want. Okay, but make it the password is kind of very simple password, guys. Don't make it any complicated while giving the password. If you forget the password again, you need to uninstall again, you need to install here, lot of overloaded for you, headache.
So only two things, na? Kubernetes and this one.
Exactly, Docker, Kubernetes, MySQL, these three
Oh,
softwares you need to install.
oh.
Others, everyone clear? Again, don't say I didn't tell.
Okay, so Docker I will install today. I will keep this.
Okay, now it's already 8:45. We have still 15 minutes left. So yes, I will use STS only, not IntelliJ. Yes, after a few days, I will use IntelliJ as well. No worries. Okay. At initial startup, use STS. It kind of a useful to you guys. Later on time, we'll try to do a Copilot integration. How you can generate the code from the inputs also will explain you. Then I will explain you the IntelliJ. Clear?
Okay, sir. Got it. IntelliJ freeware available, sir. In general,
We
it is
already have IntelliJ installed.
Yeah, no worries. If you're already familiar with IntelliJ, then it's good. But the issue is how many projects we need to create? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First main focus is these 6 microservices, guys.
Okay, okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Creation of this microservice in IntelliJ is possible. Who are using IntelliJ? It's not possible. Why?
Okay.
Because Spring Boot project creation in community edition, that option is not available. If you are become a ultimate edition, then only it is possible. For
Wow.
you, what is the solution? Just you need to visit start.spring.io. Here you need to create the projects in these places here. Okay.
And we can download and open, na? I mean, that is,
Exactly. You need to download and you need to import in the IntelliJ.
yes,
Clear?
yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I run this project, I am using one Spring Boot version 3.2.11 I am using. Now the
Okay,
latest version is 3.3.6. Even I not tested on this version. So I am using different Spring Boot version now. Later will migrate to 3.3.6 as well. Not
okay.
immediate startup, guys. Remember this point. Lot of people doing this is the mistake. If you choose the latest version, it may expect other things as well, we don't know. In the always latest version has some issues will be there, definitely. Always we should not take the latest version. Stable versions we need to take in care. Okay, now let me open the STS first. Now just I taken a workspace here. Now let me create the first microservice, Spring Starter project. Okay, now I am choosing a microservice name I using users. Guys, every day you need to practice. Don't expect a source code from me from first 10 days of development. First 1 week of development or 10 days of development, you are responsible, you need to create. After developing, I need to share the source code why you are joining in this course, right? Remember this point, guys. Okay, now so every day everyone should hands on. This is completely hands on practice here. Don't expect please share me the source code, I don't have a time due to office work I'm unable to do, so just I will watch. It's not work at all in this batch. Okay, every should be hands on here. Now see here, user service, just I created a project here. Which project? Maven project, Java version. Now I am using, commonly I am using my domain Java Express, just I am using here. Even group ID, package name, just it's kind of already you are well aware how to create the projects, everything. Remaining are default options. Choose the next. Now let me change the version later on time. What are the dependencies are required? Now to connect your web application like cloud operations you are doing, web dependency is required. Then still what dependencies? data JPA is required. Spring data JPA is required. Then tell me guys, what dependencies are required? MySQL dependency is required. Then talk to me guys, still what dependencies are required? Tell me. No?
Lambda.
Lambda.
Lombok
Lambda.
is required. Actuator dependency is required. Lombok. That's why who are joining this course, they should be aware REST API and Spring Boot guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any other dependencies, Lombok is also done. Then kind of a validation dependency. Spring validation dependency. Okay. These dependencies are common for every application. Remember this point. These applications. As of now, no integration with the cloud. Cloud integration will come later, not now. Okay, like a Eureka client, Fiend client. These all dependencies will come. Jipkin. These all the things later on time we will be used. Now for immediate support, these are sufficient for every project here. Choose the next. Here you can change the version, guys. See here. Let me see. 2.11, 3.2.11, guys. Okay, make it finish. If something not working, then we'll try. Yes, it's not working anymore. This version is not possible, it is saying. Then whole thing gone. Let me create with 3.3.6. Even I'm not tried, guys. That we'll see that version we will pull now. 3. Now let me choose. Okay, choose the next. Same 3.3.6 I am using. Click on finish. Okay, now it will start freshly all dependencies. Even I am the first time I'm downloading, so this particular version, so it will take some time for downloading and importing here. Let it download. Yes, is done. User service is done. Now click on pom.xml file. Now just verify here. User service Java 17 version, actuator, data JPA, validation, web dependency, MySQL connector, Lombok, starter test, and Maven plugin. Now these are the dependencies we have. Okay. Now let me create a model class. This is the first model class we should be required for you guys. So if you know this model class, or will take as a model or domain, will take as a model class. Okay. Here we'll create a entity. What is the entity? We need a user entity here. Click on finish. Okay. Now if you go to the browser, now this is an architectural diagram. Now see here. In the user table, see here, first name, last name, image URL, email, phone number, at what time created, at what time updated. Okay, so we'll take image URL is not required. Anyway, we don't have any dashboard, right, to display images or nothing. So just we can ignore about the image URL, we will ignore. And the remaining things we'll try to do. For this users, on which table it is dependent? It is user is depending on address table. Now in address table, what is the relationship here? Now here user ID, okay, address ID, see which user ID it is mapped, and the full address. It's kind of a you can think as a string data type, postal code, city, created it, and updated type. Now tell me, what is the relationship between the user and address?
One to one.
User and address relationship. Always one-to-one. You have a permanent address, you have a resident address, correct?
Yeah, we have
Then one-to-many relationship.
one-to-many.
Users and address relationship is one-to-many relationship here. That we need to start it here. Now see here. First, let me start. Let me take variables private integer user ID. Okay. Now private string first name, private string last name. Okay. Private string email. Okay. Private string phone number. Okay. And this is the user entity class. Let me create address class as well. Then we will see the relationships between them. Then let me take as a address. Now in the address, what kind of variables are required? Private integer address ID, private string full address, private string postal code. From onwards, you are the responsibility to do assignments as well, guys. Okay, city. These are the two user entity we have, address entity we have. First, we'll do normal options, whatever we have at the rate entity annotation. Okay, now and here I need no argument constructor. Okay, something just I'm going ahead with the here this activity. Okay, and no argument constructor is fine. Now this is the user ID first step. Now this should be the primary key at the rate ID. Okay, we need setter and getter methods as well at the rate setter method at the rate getter method. Setter and getters are over happen. Now this is the one I need to use as a generated value. What kind of strategy here we need to type? Strategy generation type dot identity.
Identity.
If I use auto, what will happen? Tell me, guys. If I use auto, what will happen?
It will create a random IDs.
No, not correct answer.
Okay.
Others? Any new answers? New answers? Manish, tell me, guys. You already done microservices with a different course. Still in the question mark.
It's like auto reset.
If you use auto, today try. You guys try, guys. I will not explain. Today someone try. If I happen as a auto, try to insert some record into DB. What happened? Just observe in database.
Okay.
Others, everyone should try. If I will reveal, you will never try. I know. Whoever try, you will get answer, guys. In interview, small question. Instead of identity, I will use auto. Then what will happen? Simple question. If you say I don't know, means it's kind of a definitely he
Locate
will.
auto increment and stuff.
Okay. Identity also will create auto increment. Auto also it will create auto increment. There should be a difference, right?
Identity creates in the sequence. As I
Sir,
remember.
actually, if it is checking for the value is there, it will be assigned account. Otherwise, it will taking the automatically. Right?
Means identity also value is there 1, 2, 3, 4. Auto means what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Primary key is the same both places, but there is
If
one
value,
difference.
if value is checking for the value, if value is not there, then we will be
Where
providing the
where,
automatic.
where it will check value checking. You are saying where it will check.
Providing the user ID, those things.
No, not satisfied. Have a try tomorrow. Give me the answer. Okay, that's okay. This is about these annotations. Let me copy for address as well and go to the user entity. Copy. Go to the address table. Okay, this is the one happen. Now in this address table, now what kind of addresses we have? It kind of a Already you are well about mappings as well, guys. Just I'm going it. So just I am providing set. I am providing set of addresses to avoid any duplicates or anything, to avoid that. What kind of annotation I should use here? Tell me, guys. What kind of annotation?
One to many.
One to many annotation. I should use it here. Okay. Now let me. This is the object here. Now let me go to the address.java. Okay, address.java. Now here what I will do, private user object. Okay, now here I should use one annotation, many to one annotation here. Now here I can use, I want to create a column inside address table. Now I am using user ID here. So a column will be created. Now tell me, there is one problem here. If you fetch the address, you need user details, or if you fetch the user, you need address details. This is a bidirectional relationship. Only one it is possible. Both cases not possible. Tell me, first we need to decide. If you fetch the user details, really address is required?
Not.
No.
Now, if you know the user ID, then when you are fetching the address, you will get user information or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone agree?
Yes.
So if everyone agree, here we should use one annotation called @JSON ignore we should specify. If you don't specify, when you are fetching user information or address information, we will face stack overflow error, recursive exception, Jackson data binding will face a problem. To
Okay.
avoid that problem, mandatory we should use at one place, either user side, either address side. Clear?
Yes.
Next. Now, another one. This address mapped to, okay, user. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, when you have this address is mapped to the user object, here we need to specify cascade operations also. We need to suppose here we need to say mapped by, we should specify the user. Why? Because inside this address object, what is the variable name? User is the variable. This variable and this variable should be match. Then only primary key and foreign key relationship will be happen. Okay.
Okay.
Next, when you are creating the user, you will perform all the operations like creating, updating, deleting. Here also we are performing. So we need to specify one operation called cascade operation here. We need to specify, we need to provide a permission, cascade all permission here we should provide. Next, when you fetch the user, you don't want the address. It's kind of a what kind of loading? Tell me, guys.
Lazy loading.
Lazy
Lazy.
loading, right?
Yeah.
In the real time, even though it is a default option we have, now we need to explicitly specify fetch type is a lazy. Fetch type dot lazy here. These are the configurations we should provide. This kind of a common for everywhere you should provide. Clear?
Okay.
Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is fine. So based on this, can you start repo layer, controller layer, and service layer, guys, today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
So user should be coming from the user table.
Yes.
That database name, user DB. Let us assume.
Yes, user DB, correct. Like user MS or make it as user DB. Yeah.
Can you share that design picture just so that
Yeah, sure. Today I will be shared to everyone. So
No,
just
my question is
yeah.
address from address DB.
No. User address are mapped to same database. Why address has address DB, user has a user DB.
Okay.
Both the same tables, right? Is part of user service, correct?
Yes.
Then why you are maintaining address as a address service not required?
Okay, that's my question actually.
Okay.
So
No,
both are in the same DB.
exactly same database, correct.
Okay.
Then only these relationships are possible. If it's a different database, then relationship is not possible.
So go to the DB diagram, sir, once.
Yeah.
So you all should be under one DB or different DB, sir? Just
Everything has different databases.
different tables, okay, sir. User and address should be all coming to be user DB.
Exactly correct. Cart has a cart DB, and order has a order DB. Payment has payment DB. Product has a product DB. Like this.
Okay. Now cart as a cart DB means already user ID is different there. Then how it should be happening?
That we will see. Now you are asking later on questions now.
Oh, okay.
First, we concentrate on one microservice. Once you are familiar, slowly, you will understand all the connecting dots.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I'm not discuss all the service. Only I'm concentration is user microservice. If user microservice, we perfectly implemented all the scenarios. I mean to say exception handling, validations, helper repos, everything. Then the remaining microservices is dead easy to implement. You got my point? Then we'll start about connecting dots. How connecting user to cart, user to product, product to there. That we will be see later on time. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. So it's already 9:05. So that's all today's session, guys, and we'll catch up on Monday. Use the same meeting details. Today you will receive the login credentials, guys. So if you are not yet registered on our website, please go ahead and register here. Then only they will share you login credentials to you in this website. Okay. If you're already done, just ignore.
Well, I'm already registered. Done one thing. Where we can get the recording session, sir? Automatically come. Link is provided.
Today's session will available in the YouTube. You can watch it. So Monday onwards, all videos are available in our portal. Okay. Your login credentials are not yet activated, right? Once it is activated, yes, you can watch it directly in the courses tab. Even if anyone now today onwards, if anyone want to purchase the course, no need to contact admin team directly. They can purchase the course here, and so automatically here links will be enabled for you. Okay. Yesterday's session and today's session also will be uploaded, and the database design also, whatever it is there, I will be uploaded to here, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So everything the same place, we will keep it. Don't expect any WhatsApp messages from us. So they will once you have a login credentials, everything available here only, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Chalo then. Thank you, guys, and same as DB but different table. Ankit, what's your question? Same database but different table means database schema is same, different tables, correct? I think someone someone asked the question. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Yeah.
Basically, under user microservice, we have two different tables.
Exactly.
They have
Correct.
many.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye, and we'll catch up on Monday.
Yeah.